Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk here on the Rich Eisen Show. Jonathan Taylor getting work on his ankle. Is that the same way that Rodney Dangerfield needed work on his arm? Or what's going on?
Oh, my arm. It's broken.
What's happening there?
The ankle got injured last year, and he had surgery. And then we had that dust up a week and a half ago about the possibility of him moving from the physically unable to perform list to the non-football injury list, the ankle that is clearly a football injury, the back that was supposedly injured while he was working out, getting ready for the season. The best news for the Colts has been that everything has died down the last week and a half. And this is the first new item as it relates to Taylor since the last back and forth with Taylor saying he didn't have a back injury and someone from the Colts, probably Jim Irsay, being the one telling the reporters, multiple reporters, that they might put him on NFI and then reserve the right to not pay his salary. So they're hoping, and I said this last Thursday night on the pregame show for the Hall of Fame game, they're hoping that this all settles down and they want Taylor to be on the team over the long term. They just don't know what form that takes. And I think they want to reserve the right to go year to year. Rookie contract finishes this year, franchise tag next year, franchise tag the year after. The numbers are very favorable for the team in lieu of a long-term deal that would pay him a lot of money because teams just don't want to do that with running backs anymore. So they just want him to get healthy, to abandon his desire to be traded, and to realize he's in checkmate. That's the reality with most of these running backs. It's a bad system, but it puts them in checkmate. Saquon Barkley was in checkmate. Jonathan Taylor is in checkmate. Josh Jacobs is in checkmate, but he doesn't care. The system is bad. The teams have the upper hand, and Taylor, the Colts hope, is going to accept that and go out and play football this year, have a big season, and then they'll decide what to do after the year ends.
Well, I mean, again, Daniel Jeremiah said if there's anybody who's, has leverage at the running back spot, he did say it's Jonathan Taylor, that the rest of the offense, that there's nothing else really out there that would scare you, although Anthony Richardson might, show that he can do that. Zach Moss got hurt too. So it's just one of those many issues as to what somebody realizes is checkmate or not. There's Zach Martin as well right now in Cowboys camp. Is there anybody out there, do you think, that might actually take this into a season? Do you think?
I don't think so, but, we can say that and then somebody does it. There's a knee-jerk reaction among many in the media to say, oh, they're never going to miss game checks. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they will. Now, with Taylor, he has leverage, but the problem is when he showed up for camp, that dramatically undermined his ability to use his leverage. Chris Jones of the Chiefs and Zach Martin of the Cowboys did the smart thing, staying away. Now, you've got some significant daily non-waivable fines since they're both on their second contracts. Taylor could have held out at $40,000 a day, and it could have been waivable since he's under his first contract. And you know what? Maybe if you flip year 2 and year 3 for Taylor, if his most recent performance had been 1,811 rushing yards and 20 total touchdowns, he would have held out. Because I think that's one of the keys. When you understand it's a bad system for running backs, what you need to do is have a big third season and then make your play for your contract. Whether the team gives it to you like the Panthers did for Christian McCaffrey after he finished his third season being the third guy ever to have more than 1,000 rushing yards and receiving yards in the same campaign, or it's Ezekiel Elliott, who holds out deep into training camp and gets a great contract from the Cowboys. Taylor just shouldn't have shown up if it was going to be ugly like this. So that would have put more pressure on the team to do something to get him in there. They hold all the cards now that he's there. He's limited in what he can do once he shows up for training camp. So I said this from the get-go. I said this the moment Jim Irsay took to Twitter and started launching Scud missiles about the running back position generally. Taylor should have never shown up.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.